Hey guys, welcome back. If you're not watching the video for the first time, this is View from the Couch, and I want to just dive straight into it today. Talking about Cuties, the Netflix show, film, sorry, and the current backlash that is still going on weeks after it came out. This is after reading today that in the last few weeks, 800,000 subscribers they've lost. And I think I read somewhere else that they did, I think upwards of like 3 or 4 billion in revenue damage. So it's no joke, you know, people are really taking it seriously. People really are offended by the content, what they're putting out. The fact that they haven't really gauged their audience very well, I think as well, is a big factor in that. Not just the content, it's actually about, you know, people are offended by it, you know, and rightly so, myself included. I haven't seen the film, but I have seen a few sort of fairly in-depth reviews on it, and yeah, I completely understand. I would not want that, especially if it was your kid, or you know, the idea of watching other people sort of exploit children in that way. So the story's not really relevant. It's more about the fact that they're so exploitative in the way they show the girls, the way they show sort of they're all under 11, the way that their sort of camera focuses on them. It's very sexualised, the way they film it is very sexualised, so I can definitely understand from that point. Getting into the filmmaker, Decor, I can't pronounce that name, someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but she has, she's French, and I think she's come out and defended the film, saying, you know, it's intentionally to highlight the sort of exploitation of children and how they're treated in the media and the press, and how their bodies are shown. Listen to me, you can say it's artistic, you can say whatever you like, but that is, you don't go and show knife crime is bad by going and stabbing a bunch of people, you know. It's not something that, it's ironic to say the least. You're actually doing it, right? So you're trying to say it's wrong to do this, to exploit, blah, blah, blah. By actually doing the thing that you're against doesn't really work, you know, and it's got so many people's backs up. But there has been people defending it. You know, there's an article, Independent Online, that I found. Basically, this article that was published by the Independent Online goes into talk about how it was made sort of ironically to show how disgusting it is, to show children overtly being so sexual and exploited in that way, and it was making a point, okay? The issue that I have, and a lot of these sort of left-wing papers like The Guardian and stuff as well, is that these critics will rush to defend it without really looking at the context and say, well, maybe people aren't just bigoted and against, you know, reality. There's actual real reason for it. So yeah, ultimately, you know, it's kind of a heavy subject matter because we're seeing a lot of it in America now, where they're passing state laws, lesser punishments for adults having sex with minors and things like that. And the people who make these shows need to realise that there's not this bubble of, like, you know, essentially sociology students or gender study students who want to, you know, that's not their fan base, you know. That there's a lot of people in the world, and a lot of people in the world do not like this type of content, myself included. I know a lot of people who have stopped watching Netflix, not necessarily cancelled the membership, but definitely stopped watching Netflix because of it. And it's an issue. Not liking the show doesn't mean you're not progressive, doesn't mean you're against exploitation of children. If anything, it's the opposite. I think this show is so backward in the way it shows it, that it probably doesn't have a grasp of what everyday people like and where their values are. And I think their sort of value system is a bit messed up. And, you know, having said that, everyone knows that Netflix's biggest problem has always been quality control. You know, it will greenlight almost anything. There's countless specials, you know, documentaries, they're big on that. And eventually things like this slip through the cracks, and unmoderated is not necessarily a good thing, because too many people watch it and it's too big not to be accountable.